what's up you guys? Before we hop into this lesson, I want to show you something that's been kind of blowing my mind lately when it comes to practicing. All right, so let's say you've just learned a scale or maybe a new lick and you want to jam over something fun. Normally I'd loop a chord progression or pull up a jam track, but check this out. I actually made a custom backing track using Suno. It's this super cool music creation platform I've been using lately. Pronounced Suno, you can try it yourself at suno.com. So I typed in something like instrumental Texas blues shuffle in E, 12 bar form with a tight walking bass, and boom, it gave me this. Pretty sweet, right? Now I've got something original to solo over, my own personal jam track. Great for practicing, phrasing, testing out new scales, or just vibing. And what's wild is how quick it is. You can make full tracks in minutes, all without needing any recording gear or music theory knowledge. It's great if you're a beginner trying to explore, or even a seasoned player like me, just looking for some fresh practice material. It's super helpful. So again, if you want to make your own backing tracks or music for YouTube intros, podcasts, a song for someone special, whatever, check out suno.com or hit that link in the description. All right, let's get back to the lesson. But yeah, this whole track made with Suno. It's a fun little tool in the arsenal now. You got this. Hey, what's up you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, and I'm going to show you 5 amazing chords that you can play instead of a boring A7 chord or a D7 chord. These are more sophisticated 9s and 13s that you can substitute and also mix and match and actually end up improvising your own rhythm playing. Now I'm showing you some of my favorite kind of funky bluesy sounding chords, but this has implications for all of your guitar playing, and I'm excited to show it to you. Also, I have a bunch of stuff that can help you even better than YouTube over at my website, martymusic.com. In fact, I'm doing 2 live streams a month for the community only, and the coolest part about that is that you can actually chime in on video, ask me questions, and I can talk to you face to face, see what you're doing, and answer questions and actually help guide you as if I was really there in the room with you. And that's only at my website, martymusic.com, in the community section. Plus I have a bunch of killer courses. Why don't you follow me right here and check that link down below. Let's get to it. Here we go. All right, I'm going to take an A7 chord right here, which is a classic blues chord. Blues, funk, soul, etc. So much more. A7 right here. You know, 2 classic dominant 7 chords. And I'm going to show you 5 different substitutions for that will sound a lot more sophisticated. And the more you can identify them for every chord, so for instance, like if we're playing an A blues, you can do all the substitutions for the 1 chord, 4 chord, and 5 chord, A, D, and E, then you really start to get a lot of cool options. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is called A13. And a 13 chord means that you're playing what's called a dominant 7, but you've added now the 13th to it. So when you just say A13, that means an A7 chord with also the 13th. So I went up 13 steps up the Mixolydian. So the 13th is the 6th up an octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's the 6th. So if I took an A7 chord and then tried to add that to it, that would be one way to do it, but this is a much hipper way right here. It sounds like this. And so I find the root, locate the root, an A note, because I'm playing A13. So that is the 5th fret E, index finger. The next tone is going to be, in this voicing, the 7th. Now my index finger is muting that A string, but since it's an A chord, the open A is not going to get in the way, but index finger just is lightly touching it, so it's muting it. So you have 5th fret E, 5th fret D with the middle finger. Now we add the third of the chord, the major third, and that is the 6th fret G string with the 3rd finger. Next, I'm going to add that 13th, and that's going to be with my pinky on the 7th fret B string. The high E is muted by my pinky, but if you pressed, that's the 9 up top there. So it's just a lot of information in a chord. That's why I'm not playing it. But if I just played a classic blues bass line, you're going to hear that's going to work over it. The cool thing is, I could play a regular A7 chord and that chord, and now I have movement. Check it out. So hopefully that makes sense. So this new chord is an A13. Now I could take that voicing and play the 4 chord with it, D, and I could play D13. The D notes on that 10th fret, E string. Back to the 1 chord. 5 chord, E13, the E's on that 12th fret. D. Now, it might, to your ear, sound jazzier. And yeah, it is. It's jazzier. It's like just a more sophisticated chord. But you could play that in funk. So that is chord voicing number 1 that can substitute for a regular, boring 7 chord or a dominant 7 chord. The next one, we're going to stay with that same zone, same root. I'm going to play one of my favorite chords, an A9, in this spot. Now what we're going to do about this one is we're going to just not play the root, but this is how we're finding the chord. I'm finding the chord by the root right there. But you know, the root actually is one of the first notes you can take out of a chord, especially in a band, because the bass player is going to be playing the root for you. So you don't need it. It's already being covered by the bass player. But if you're just playing by yourself, it still sounds really hip. Our ear picks up the sound of the chord, especially when you start to put the other chords together. Okay, so check this one out. This is what it sounds like. So that is an A9 chord. I find it by finding the root on the E string, 5th, and then I go a half step lower and I play that note. So 4th fret A string, that's the major 3rd. In the other voicing, we played it an octave up. Now we're playing it right here. Then a 3rd finger is going to be on the 5th fret D string. That's that 7th. And the middle finger is going to be back on the 4th fret G string, and that is the 9th. Now look, this looks like a little D chord shape. Great way to start to memorize this chord is think if you're learning this, you should already know a D chord. So take that same muscle memory and apply it in a different way. So 4th fret A, 5th fret D, 4th fret G. Simply grab the 5th fret B string with the pinky, and that is the chord. So we're not playing the low E or the high E. Pinky just mutes that high E. But once again, if I flattened it, so I'm getting 5th fret high E, 5th fret B, you just got the root up top there. And you can add it and play it as 2 different chords now. But so watch, with that bass line, I can play the A13 to that A9, and man, they go together so well. Oops, I deleted it. You know, they're all just different kind of colors of the same vibe, same chord, with some different colors. Let's go to the D version. So that time I'm playing E9 right there. The root's there. And I played that D shape. So that's 2 voicings right now. We have 13, A13 right there, and A9. All right, here's the third chord, and this is going to be another way to play A9. And this is a real hip chord. Real hip chord. One of my favorite guitar mentors, his name's Bob Ryan. He showed me this one, and I love it. And it's in that same zone, so you can find the root on the E string. We're not going to play it, but that's how you locate the chord. Or you can see it on the 7th fret D, but 5th fret E is probably the best way to find this. Then I'm going to take my 3rd finger and play that 7th on the 5th fret D. It requires a stretch, but I have pretty stubby short fingers and I can play it, so most of you should be able to play this if you practice it. So 5th fret D and the middle finger on the 4th fret G. So this would be the 7th and then the 9th right there. And up here, ooh, very, very interesting, isn't it? But it's the major third of A. It's just the way it's spread has a unique voicing. Because if you don't hear the root right now, the root really changes it. If I'm thinking of it as a G, it's got that kind of Lydian sharp 4 sound, but we're playing it with A as the root. Then up top we add that root. Now it really starts to sound like an A dominant chord. I can play it with the open A string because I'm playing an A9, but in moved around you can't do that. So 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret, 5th fret. So we have this one chord, the first one, A13. The second one I showed you, A9. The third one I showed you, A9. What's cool about this one is you can move up a half step and it becomes a suspended 4th. Cool little extra color you can add to it. So if I just played those for a blues, so that was your third one. The fourth one, a lot of people don't think of this one, but it comes from that D7 shape.
So I'm going to find this by finding the root on the D string. So that's 7th fret D string. And then I'm going to just kind of bar it across. Although you don't really need to bar it, but it's just... Then from here, I'm forming what looks like what you would first learn as a D7. So 9th fret on the G with the 3rd finger, 8th fret on the B with the middle finger, 9th fret on the high E with the pinky. Like that. Okay. So that was 4 different voicings. So that one, that one, that one, and that one. So let's say I wanted to play blues just with this newest one, the 4th one. A7 would be here, D7 would be here. And I can even play E7. Pinky going up a half step makes that same sus4 sound. D7, A7, E7, D7, A7, E7 here too. All right, the last one for this video anyway. I'm finding it by finding the root on the A string. So if I'm playing it, and this is an A7 chord. So the A is on the 12th fret A string. So I'm going to put my middle finger on the 11th fret D, and then 12th fret G. So that's the major third, that's the 7th. And then the 10th fret B string with the index finger, that's the root. And then pinky up top is on the 5th, on the 12th fret. So if I wanted to play a D7 with this voicing, the D is on the 5th fret A string, and I can go down here. Back to A. And then to play this for E7, it's the 7th fret A root, so I find it right there. A7. D7 with that. Back to A7 with it. E7. D7. A7. Now, let's just use this one and this one to play the 12, or just play the 1, 4, 5. So A7 could be here. And then I'll play that new voicing for D7. And what's cool is I'm just in one spot. Back to. And I play this for E7, D7, A9. Now let's mix it around. Let's do A7 right here. And then that D9, which would be here. Back to A7. E9, D9, A7, E9. So hopefully that made sense. This video exists forever, so you can review it and watch little parts of it as much as you need to. I recommend trying to get some of these down. You'll have a lot of fun, and you'll be able to improvise your rhythm. You know, improvise which voicings you're using when, even over something as simple as a 12-bar blues is the point of that. So hopefully that made sense. We'll see you again. All right, I hope that lesson helped. Thank you again for hanging out. Also, you definitely want to join my community over at martymusic.com. I can interact with you face to face, and there's so many more bonuses like that that you can check out in the link down below. I've got all kinds of great resources. So thank you so much for your continued support. Really appreciate it, and hope to see you guys again in another video real soon. See you later.